Hi guys, this is Carrie with Creatively Carrie, and I thought that since this upcoming weekend was going to be a holiday weekend, I wanted to do something kind of especially related to the holiday. And I thought, what better way to decorate cookies? So I did not bake these cookies. I found a kit and I purchased the kit, and it came with 4 different designs. This is a ladybug design. This is a butterfly design. And then there's 2 different flowers that was in the kit. They also came, there was 12 cookies in the kit. There were icing tubes as well as some fun little decorations. So I am going to, I brought in some extra tools like a butter knife, a cheese spreading knife, and a spoon, just in case I wanted to do some fun types of things with the icing that I wouldn't normally be able to do coming out of the tube. So without further ado, I'm going to start picking these cookies that I'm going to decorate them. And don't think that you can't do this at home right now. You may not have the exact same ingredients, but get online real quick, find yourself a sugar cookie recipe or a butter cookie recipe. If you've got all the ingredients at the house, you can just whip them up real quick, bake them, let them cool, and then you can have the kids decorate them with whatever icing, treats, kinds of things that you have. Now, if you don't have any icing, you can make some. What you need is powdered sugar and milk. And you're going to want to mix the milk into the powdered sugar slowly into small increments so that you get it kind of this thick, icy consistency. And that way you can use it you can put food coloring in it, color it, and then you can make your own icing that way. You can also put the icing into little baggies and snip off the corner just a little bit of the bag, and then be able to pipe on the icing without having it in a tube. Okay? So, why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm going to move this larger plate of cookies out of the way. Kind of maybe, let's put that up there. And I'm right-handed, so I like to have all of my tools on the right side for easy grabbing, quick grabbing. And then, let's see, I think I'm going to start with the ladybug. And I want to make sure you guys can still see without having a shadow there. Okay. So my ladybug. I'm going to decide what colors. Obviously, I'm going to do red and I think some white. And now you have to decide if you want to use your icing on the inside of the shapes or if you want to just put your icing in the shapes themselves. So that's kind of cool. I think what I am going to do is initially I am going to pipe this icing into the shapes. So I'm going to start in the center of my cookie because if I do it on the outside and I need to come in somewhere, I might touch it on the outside. So I want to wait to do that last. But I am going to start with my icing here. So I can see that this icing is a gel icing, which means it's very fluid and not very thick. So you would probably be able to squeeze out a small amount and then spread it with your knife. Yeah, so it's starting to thicken up a little bit, so maybe this was just some of the gel that was on the top of this. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my white. And I'm just going to come into these round circular areas, and I'm just going to pump in a serious dot of white icing. And then I'm going to pick some of these little candy balls, press them into the icing, and then as the icing dries, it will stay there. This ball just wants to keep falling around, falling off the side there. This kit came with a total of 12 cookies. So when you use your icing, you're probably going to want to not necessarily spread icing over every single cookie. You know, you'll want to use the icing as sparingly as you can, but there might be one or two that you can. I really like the sunflower, so I am going to, let's see, let's start in the center. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some frosting here, and then I am going to use my butter knife, and I'm just going to kind of just want to spread this around so that it fills in my circle. Perfect. Yeah. And then of course if you have a paper towel handy, you can just wipe off any excess that you have there. Okay. I'm going to take some yellow. And you might want to kind of warm up your frosting a little bit and squish it around, because if you've got room to do that in the tube, it'll help that any liquidy stuff, prevent it from coming out first if you mix it in with your icing. So, okay. So I am going to do kind of just a yellow tip here. I'm going to put yellow there, and then once again I'm going to use my butter knife, and I think I'm going to just kind of pull that yellow frosting towards the center. Ooh. And this frosting is proving to be not very user-friendly. Sorry if you guys can't see this, I'm having to put extra pressure on this tube. Kind of liking those little squiggly lines there for the flower petals, but I have an idea in mind here. So, okay, so I've got that yellow frosting out, and now I'm just gonna once again try to take my knife and smooth it out a little bit. Hopefully before it sets up too much. I didn't want to put any candies on this one. I'm just going to use my icing. So I have spread the icing around there. And then I'm going to use the blue icing to do the little indented lines and to put little dots in the center of my daisy. Another one right there. And again, I think I'm going to do the next flower because I also have another little trick in mind that I'm wanting to do. So I'm just going to take my red and my yellow, and I'm going to see if I can do some blending with this frosting. So I'm going to put some yellow on one petal here, around there, and then I'm going to do some red with it. And then what I'm going to do is take my butter knife again, and I'm just going to see if I can kind of blend, see if we can get kind of a blending. Ooh, yeah. I like that. So you don't want to overdo it because you'll get, you'll turn it orange if you overdo it. So I'm just going to leave that one like that. I'm going to put that extra frosting right there. So I'm going to do that again on the next petal. Just going to layer the top with some yellow. And then I'm going to put some red. I think I'm going to do a little bit less red this time. Wipe off any excess. And then once you start, when you're going to pull from the top down, try to avoid going back because that's when you mix them. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, I'll do it again.